StoryCon presents BackStory, a podcast featuring writers, readers, and their stories, hosted by best-selling author Jennifer A. Nielsen.
With the rise of artificial intelligence, advanced photo and video editing programs, and software that can mimic without flaw another person's voice, it's easy to look around the world and wonder, what is real? It wasn't always this way. There used to be a time when the difference between fact and fiction was clear to everyone. If nothing else, a person could look in the mirror and trust the identity of the face staring back at them. Neil used to believe that. He was the only child of Jewish parents, the center of their world. Of course, it's a normal thing for any child at some stage in life to look at the ways they are different from their family and wonder, might they have been adopted? Neil never did wonder. Why should he? He looked so much like his maternal grandfather, he knew who he was. Until 1 year ago. That's when Neil's adult son, Jared, had his DNA tested online. You've probably seen those ads. Maybe you've even taken one of those tests. For most people, the results are about what they expected, perhaps with the occasional minor surprise thrown in. Likely, it was not on the scale of the surprise Neil received. He was on day 1 of a writing retreat on a cruise, a frequent way for him to get away and get his pages written. Jared sent him a text telling him to check out his DNA test results. After a bit of confusion and a bit more of sleuthing, Neil came to a conclusion. He was not the biological son of the parents he had known for his entire life. Neil called his cousin, who finally confessed that Neil's adoption had been a family secret for his entire life. Everyone knew about it. Everyone but Neil. Neil was not an only child. In fact, he has 6 half-siblings on both sides of his family, from his biological mother and his biological father. But there was more. Sure, other people had asked Neil about his darker skin coloring before, but it always explained it was similar to his adopted father's coloring. But the true story is that Neil is half black. Since these discoveries, Neil Schusterman has become fascinated by the idea of identity. Who we are is simply a construct of the details we have chosen to pull from our lives. Are you intelligent or not? Are you social or not? Are you a good person or are you not? Maybe the identity you have built for yourself is true, but more likely, the truth is buried far deeper than the way you present yourself to others, or even the way you think of yourself. More likely, who you think you are is something based on truth, but blended with a lot of fiction. It's a story we privately rehearse as evidence that what we want to believe about ourselves is true. Maybe life itself is fiction, which means that the stories of fiction should never be taken for granted. Because in an AI world, when everything must be questioned, the biggest question of all is, who really stares back at you in the mirror from your perspective?
Thank you for listening to BackStory. If you'd like to enjoy more episodes, visit us at storycon.org/backstory. That's StoryCon.org/backstory. BackStory is brought to you by StoryCon. StoryCon is the evolution of Teen Author Boot Camp, the largest combined writing camp and fan expo in the Intermountain West. Join us on February 21st and 22nd, 2025 at the Salt Palace Convention Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. The event will feature keynote speeches and masterclasses from internationally best-selling authors like Jeff Kinney, Neil Schusterman, Shannon Hale, Marissa Meyer, and many more. Other activities include an exhibitor hall that's free to the public, writing contests, and the Operation Literacy Awards Gala. Visit storycon.org today to register. That's StoryCon.org. Hurry, masterclasses have a limited space.